my name's Matt Eddy, and I'm here to talk to you about saddle hunting. It's one of the newest and oldest forms of tree stand, getting in a tree hunting that there is, and I am simply wearing my tree stand. My platform is little bitty. It's going to be on the tree right here. I'm going to walk you through the process, pretend like we are already up at the top of the sticks. I'm going to jump in the tree. One thing the saddle allows us to do is we can get in virtually any tree of almost any size, diameter, go to any height, anything that we would like. So when we get to the top of our sticks here, we're going to affix our tree tether. I'm going to attach that to my bridge and then step from my stick over to the tree. Now, once I'm on my platform here, I'm going to get my tree tether right up here about head level. And now I am in my tree stand. Now, from hunting from a tree stand, from a tree saddle, we're going to be on this side of the tree. So you're going to see your activity on this side and on this side, and you're using this tree as cover. And I can adjust this right now. I can tell you this is perfectly comfortable. Knee pads to go against the tree, but I can now turn and shoot behind me in any direction from moving, and I can shoot all around. If I need to shoot on my weak side, I can simply just stand up, turn, and fire this way. So now we've got all of our bases covered from a saddle. We can slip in any tree at almost any time.
All right, so another commonly asked question at the Hunting and Fishing Academy is, how do I hang my gear on public land when I can't screw in tree steps or a bow hanger or a method of take hanger? So this is a great strap. It's made by Tethered, but it basically goes around the tree without damaging it. It's like a tight hook and loop system that comes with this carabiner that you clip on, and it has an easy way for you to hang a backpack or any method of take you select during all parts of the season. So typically I have my rangefinder. If I'm gonna harvest a deer, you need to know how far it is to make an accurate, ethical shot. And if you're a bow hunter, you definitely know you need a rangefinder. So it's easy to access and at my fingertips. And during the rut here coming up in the later fall, you know, after Halloween, before Thanksgiving, you wanna make sure you have your rattling antlers or maybe your good luck charm or a deer grunt. So while you're in the woods, it's close to you. And if you were to accidentally slip on the stand, whatever type of stand you're in, if it falls, it still hangs on, doesn't go all the way to the ground and force you to climb all the way down and back up. It's also a great place to leave other things in your backpack. So I typically have my binoculars in my backpack that I can easily reach out and put back in if I need to, if a deer walks out. Or another great thing about having a backpack up in the stand with you is so you can have some snacks. If you don't wear cargo pants or you don't have any saddle bags, you want to make sure bring some snacks and some water with you, so you can always have that in your backpack and right close at hand. And this can be accessory can be used with any type of tree stand or saddle, any type of hunting you want to do on private or public. It's legal for all those methods of take. Another great tip is looking for food sources for deer. Any time of year when you hunt a deer in deer season, deer might be queuing in on different things. Here today we're in a cut cornfield. The farmer has cut this field in the last few weeks and sprayed it because next year he'll probably have soybeans here. But this year the deer know that it's planted corn. So if I'm setting up a tree stand close by or even putting in a ground blind, I'm going to want to make sure I'm on a field edge somewhere along here, maybe 10 to 20 feet into the tree line. That way I'm using those native branches and that colorful fall coloring to hide the blind, break up my silhouette or tree stand so they don't see me. But I still want to be able to sit on the edge of this field and look all the way down in each direction as far as I can, so that way I have the best vantage if a deer was to walk out that I wanted to attempt to harvest. Keep in mind when you're looking for food sources like this, that it's harvested corn. There's other food sources as well, like acorns, persimmons, any leafy browse in coverage right next to their bedding area or a water source. So this isn't the only place deer will be, but it is a good spot to try and find some deer, especially if you're hunting a new area you've never been. You want to see as much land as possible at one time for every hunt, so that way you're not wasting time hunting where the deer aren't. All right, continuing on with food sources and what white-tailed deer want to eat. We went from the cornfield earlier, maybe a soybean field, depending on what time of year, but my favorite time of year to hunt is the early fall when a hot oak tree might start dropping some acorns, and it's almost like candy for the white-tailed deer around you. So anytime you're walking around and you can identify a good oak tree dropping acorns, you want to make sure you mark it on your map or on your digital mapping tool. But a lot of questions I get are, how do I identify trees without taking the book with me into the woods? Or maybe you all walk around all the time and say, this is an oak and this is a cedar and this is a hackberry tree, but how do I practice that by myself in the woods when scouting for deer? So a great way to do that if you didn't grow up in scouts, or another way to identify, is some free apps. One of the best ones I use is iNaturalist or Picture This. They're both free apps, don't require any subscription other than a username. And you take a picture and you can scan the bark, whether you're up in the tree wondering what tree you're sitting in that day, or you're down on the ground walking around looking for acorns. It'll identify it for you, and that way you know going forward, anything that looks like that is most likely a white oak. Now there are many species of oak, so don't get confused to think they're all white oaks, but this is a white oak tree, and it drops acorns. So here are some acorns in my hand that we'll talk about. So these are some acorns that have dropped. There are different parts of an acorn. We have the cap, and we actually have the acorn itself, which is in between. So I have a few different types. So this is one where the cap has fallen off or it's been eaten off. So a lot of people ask, well, how do you know what ate that, or if the deer are actually in the area? Well, you can see here by the top of this acorn where something's been nibbling on top. Little incisors or teeth of a white-tailed deer have been taking that cap off and getting hungry and wanted some acorns here in this forest. And so this white oak was dropping, and I can tell you there have been some deer around it recently. So another helpful tip when looking for food sources, not just agriculture in the big woods, you can always count on white oak trees, persimmons, or any type of fruit tree dropping that makes sure that those deer are going to come to it just like we are attracted to them as well.